Hello, math students. Welcome to Module 1, Ratios and Unit Rates. The title of Lesson 4 is Associated Ratios and the Value of a Ratio. The goal that I want you to be thinking about today during our lesson is today we are going to learn that fractions are the value of the ratio relationship. So fractions can tell us what the value of the ratio relationship, that's what it is. Okay, question. What does value mean when it is the value of a ratio? What does that mean? And I'm going to show you that. So hopefully you can get that answer by the time we get done. All right, things to learn today. We're going to start this off with a little scenario. It's called double dipping. So double dipping, the reason that I want to throw this out at you is in math, we have a tendency to do all kinds of stuff with numbers. And sometimes when you see something, you learned it one way, and then after a lesson today, you'll notice that it has a different meaning or a different job. So that's why we call it double dipping, because in one land it could mean something, and in another land it could mean something totally different. So I've created two lands for you. In the ratio land, fractions only express the value of a ratio. The value of a ratio, okay? So be very careful. Fractions, when you're living in ratio land, they only express the value. And value means the numerical amount, okay? But in fraction land, when you're working with fractions, notice the play on words, you should like that. In fraction land, fractions are used by having a numerator and a denominator. So they actually are telling you everything that's available, okay? So they're two different things. When they're in ratio land, it's telling you the actual value. In fraction land, it's telling you how many of the numerator you have for the total amount, the denominator. All right, so right now we are working in ratio land because we're working in Module 1, Ratios and Unit Rates. So the fractions will only be used to describe the numerical amount of the ratio relationship. So if you look at our hearts, and I'm so sorry I don't have a color printer, but on my notes when I made them, and I don't even know if the dot camera is going to pick this up, but these are all supposed to be purple hearts. So I'm just going to trace them really quick. And I'm going to be sloppy so that you can see the purple, because I know that on the dot camera, for some reason, the purple blends in with the black and it looks black. It really is purple. And the other ones are supposed to be blue. So we'll color these, purposely getting off of the line so that you can see that that's actually a blue. And those are supposed to be blue, okay? So sorry about that, I don't have a color printer. Okay, right now we are working in ratio land, so fractions will only be used to describe the numerical amount of the ratio relationship. So we have 5 purple hearts, and we have 3 blue hearts. So it's 5 purple hearts to 3 blue hearts. It says the number of purple hearts is 5/3 the number of blue hearts. Does anybody understand that? I'll read it again. The number of purple hearts is 5/3 the number of blue hearts. Okay, well, let's try it and see what happens. If we are going to take this relationship and try to understand what that means, what we're saying is for every 5 purple hearts, there's 3 blue hearts. How would we figure out if there was only 1 blue heart? Because it's saying that for every 5, there are 3. So what we have to do is we have to figure out what it would be to 1. Okay? So if we have 3 when there's 5, so let's try to make a table so that I can help you understand this a little bit better. But if we had, let's say that this over here is the purple, and this over here is the blue, okay? And then it says when we have 5 purples, we have 3 blues, but we want to know what happens when we have 1 blue. Well, the only thing that we can do to get that is we have to look at it as a mathematical problem, and you're actually dividing. Because how do you get from having 3 down to 1? And you can't add or subtract. You actually have to multiply or divide. So if we're going to multiply or divide and we're going to a smaller number, then we know we actually had to divide. So if I divide this number right here by 3, what is 3 divided by 3? It's 1. But remember my rule, what you do to one side, you have to do to the other, so I actually have to take 5 and divide it by 3. Well, kiddos, another way to write 5 divided by 3 also looks like this, 5 divided by 3. So if I take 5 divided by 3, I can write 5 divided by 3. So when there's one blue heart, that means that there are 5/3 purple hearts. So now let's read this again. The number of purple hearts is 5/3 the number of blue hearts. So when I have one blue heart, I have 5/3 purple hearts. And we proved that by using that table. Okay? So it will get easier, I promise. That seems a little confusing, but let's do some more and see if it helps. Okay, so movie time. We have this tape sitting here trying to help us. And it says film B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So film B is 7. Film A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Film A is 5. So we have a ratio, film B to film A, it would be 7 to 5, right? Okay, so now let's look at this next thing. And it says, let me put this back up here so we can use it to help us. What is the ratio of film A to film B? Okay, film A is 5, according to our diagram. Film B is 7, so make it a ratio. And what do we have? 5 to 7. That wasn't too hard. What is the ratio of film B to film A? Oh, well, that's just what it looks like. Film B is 7. Film A is 5. Okay, so far so good. The length of film A is blank of the length of film B. The length of film A is blank the length of film B. Well, if you're looking at it, it says it's 5 out of the total of 7. So film A would be 5/7 the length of film B. Because look at the film, it's right here. We only have 5 out of B, which is 7, so it would be 5/7. Do you all see that? Then it says the length of B is blank the length of film A. It's longer. How much longer? 7/5. So this one would be 7/5. And remember, if we used a table, we could show that, okay? So remember, this one was film A, this one is film B, and for every 5 film A, it is 7 film B. And if we're trying to get to 1, let's actually try to get to 1 right here. How did I get from 7 to 1? I divided by 7. What you do to one side, you have to do the other, so this would be 5/7. So when film B is 1, film A is 5/7, and that's what we showed right here. Do you see it? Okay, so now let's try the other one. When we have it, sorry, I'm trying to pick a different color you can see. Let's do it this one. We have A and we have B, and we have 5 to 7. Now, what if we want to know when the 5 is 1? So how did we get from 5 to 1? We divide by 5, we divide by 5, and we know that we have 7/5. Okay, so here's the 7/5. Here's the 5/7. So when B is a 1, we could put that in parentheses. When B is 1, film A is 5/7. However, when film A is 1, then it would be 7/5. Film A would be 7/5. Okay? How are we feeling about that? Confusing? Please don't be confused. We're going to work with it some more to help you. It says, please put a cloud around the values of the ratios. Remember, they are the fractions. Oh, that was helpful. So this is a value. This is a value. So the clouds represent the value of a ratio. And the way you're finding the value of the ratio is to find per 1. Okay? That's how you find it. So the value of the ratio is per 1. Okay? All right. Try this one. I'm going to move this out of the way so we can see it. True or false? Red is 1, yellow is 3. Okay, so we have to write true or false on these blanks. So it says 3/4 of a 4-gallon mix would be yellow paint. 3/4 of a 4-gallon mix would be yellow paint. So that means that this yellow right here, 3/4 of a 4-gallon mix would be yellow paint. So look, 4 gallons, so this is a gallon, this is a gallon, this is a gallon, and this is a gallon. The mix, they mix them all together. It says 3/4 of it would be yellow. Well, how many out of the total are the yellow? 3. So would it be 3/4? The answer for this one would have to be, everybody, true. Okay? Does everybody see it? How many gallons are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's where the 4-gallon mix comes from. Then it says, what of the 4 gallons is yellow? 3 of them. So 3/4 of the 4-gallon mix would be yellow paint. The answer is true. Okay? All right, now let's look at this one. 1/3 of the gallon mix would be red. Ooh, be careful. Be very careful. Be very careful. I'm giving you a hint. It's still a 4-gallon. So what do you think, everybody? If you said false, you're correct. Why is it false? Because there aren't only 3 gallons. How many gallons are there? There are 4. 4 gallons. So it would be 1/4 of it. A 4-gallon mix would be red paint. Does everybody see that? Okay, hopefully this is helping. Now, true or false? For every 1 gallon of yellow paint, there is 1/3 of red paint. Oh, so now we're going to use our table to help us. Remember, we have red and we have yellow. Red is 1, yellow is 3. And it says for every 1 gallon of yellow, so we're going to 1 under the yellow. How did we get from 3 to 1? Divide by 3. What you do to one side, you have to do to the other. 1 divided by 3 is the same thing as 1/3. So 1/3 is red. So when we have a yellow 1, we have 1/3 red. So for every 1 gallon of yellow paint, there is 1/3 of red paint. What is the answer? True or false? True! Dun, da, da, da. Good job, you guys. Okay, I know it may be overwhelming, but you can get it totally. Okay, we'll be doing some practice with it. All right, I only have this little bit thing. Oh, it's still a true or false, so I'm going to leave this one to you. It says true or false. For every 2 gallons of red paint, there are 6 gallons of yellow. Look at your tape again. For every 2 gallons of red, there are 6 gallons of yellow. Oh my goodness, you better be able to get that one. I'm not helping you. That's the one that goes in the answer section of option 2. All right, kiddos, let's very quickly go back to our goal. Today we are going to learn that fractions are the value of a ratio relationship. We did that, so you're thinking per 1. Remember this. This will help you. Okay? What does the value mean when it is the value of the ratio? It means that it is the numerical amount of the comparison. All right? Okay, my darlings, that's all I have for you in this lesson. Talk to you soon. Bye.